Hello. A few days ago you may have seen that I was featuring a mini disc autochanger and a Sony CD and head end unit in a Toyota Celica. And that unit is 22 years old now, so I've decided to buy something newer. It's a double DIN stereo system from Kenwood. And I'll just do a little bit unboxing now, and I'll show you some of the features of this thing. So what we have here is a Kenwood DDX4019DAB. There is a version of this without DAB. So this is the double DIN size head end. Now let's see what we have here. Also, I should say that though DAB doesn't seem to work in the area I live in, I thought I'd give it one last shot. So we also have the an antenna here specifically for DAB, because the antenna that comes with the car, the electric aerial you'd have seen already, is only going to be fit for FM. And this thing I bought from an outfit called Car Audio Centre, and the unit itself was roughly £225. So that's a lot of stereo system for £225. Oh, comes with a free car air freshener too. A lot of stereo system for that money when you consider that the one I'm removing cost about double that back in 1998. Right, what I'm going to do is set you up so you can look down on the box as we open it. So let's just have a quick look at the box. This one supports DAB and also DAB+. Not sure if there's any DAB+ transmissions in this area. Monitor with DVD receiver. That's a fairly confused sort of name. Made for iPhone and iPod. Well, I'm not of the Apple persuasion, so that won't be used. Spotify, really good to see the Spotify is installed. Dual phone connection, not quite sure, but I think that means you can have one phone playing music into the stereo and another one taking a call. Music mix, not sure about that. Viewing angle you can adjust, which is useful because every car is different. The angle that the stereo sits at relative to the driver will differ. Looking at the back, quite a lot of information there. Up to 5 Bluetooth devices. And looking through here, some of the things it can do. Variable color illumination. One of the things it can do is scroll colors through its background. I think that's a bit tacky. I think I'll stick to a color probably. Resistive panel. So it's not the normal capacitive touch or the type you get on a phone. Resistive is more appropriate for a car. You have to press it a little bit harder, but it's probably more robust. Rear view camera input. Now I've actually ordered a rear view camera which I'm going to mount on the number plate of the car, so that could be extremely useful, and it comes with a sort of parking guideline thing as well, so I'm really looking forward to that. It'll take wired remote controls of various types. I don't have one yet, but I could possibly do that later. MOSFET 50 watts times 4. What, 50 watt RMS times 4? If so, that's a humongous amount of power. We'll have to see. Time alignment, not sure what that means. Something to do with setting up the speakers so that the sound arrives at the driver at the same time from all the speakers. Equalizers and bass boost and loudness and pre-outs, play CDs, DVDs. I think it'll only do that when the car's parked up. MP3s with ID tags, you'd hope so too. And waves and FLAC files under certain circumstances, I believe. Okay, and DivX and various things. It's a high current charging. If you want to plug your phone in directly into this, I won't be because I have a wireless charger. Right, let's open the box and see what we have. A green wire with a bullet socket at one end and nothing on the other. Do you know what I was saying about playing DVDs? I've got a feeling this is the wire, I have to check the instructions, but this is the one that detects when your handbrake is on. When it's on, it'll allow you to play DVDs. Some more cables falling out here. Oh, what's this? Microphone. I don't think I was expecting that. That's a definite bonus. So that microphone can go on the sun visor, so it's closer to the driver's voice rather than shouting across the car, which makes all the difference. Oh, I'm impressed with that. That's a good thing. Now then. So that will fit into the back of the stereo. That's probably its own unique connector, and this will go into the ISO connectors of the car. It's a 26-year-old Toyota. It doesn't have ISO connectors. Now, last time, when I fitted this stereo 22 years ago, I bypassed that and wired everything directly into this loom for reasons of better quality. I was particularly interested in getting a good 12-volt feed directly from the battery into the stereo. So the 12-volt feed doesn't go via the normal car wiring looms. The permanent 12-volt feed is straight to the battery via a fuse. So I might even unplug this and connect it indirectly to bypass unnecessary connectors at this end. What are these for? Well, this is because some car stereos or some cars kind of switch around which is a permanent feed and which is a switched feed, so of the ignition or accessory positions. So that's why you can unplug these and switch them around. I've had to do that in the past. Other cables we have here is a mute signal if you have some sort of phone or mute button that needs to mute the stereo. Remote control, so that would be steering wheel remote control. I haven't got one yet, but I'd like to install something. Antenna control. Okay, that's for a power antenna, a motorized radio aerial. Who has one of them these days? Well, I do on my Toyota Celica, and it still works beautifully. So I'll be using that, even if most people don't. Okay, that's not too bad, but I've had to order in a pair of sockets to bare wires for this, so I'll wire that into the car, and that'll deal with all, especially the speaker wiring and signals. Okay, this is a trim panel. That's pretty much the last thing I'll install, I should imagine. Instructions. Oh look, DVD region 2 it says. So that's good. Right. The one thing that almost put me off this was it's JVC Kenwood, and all the stereos I've ever fitted in cars in the past have always been Sony. Kenwood's always had a very good reputation. JVC, less so. You may have seen one of my videos of me trying to repair some JVC DVD recorders and coming unstuck because I couldn't source the parts for them anywhere, and they're pretty unreliable. Anyhow, I will certainly need the instructions later because it's quite a complex unit, and I will certainly be referring to the bit about the installation. So what they've done here, I think, is all these other manuals are in other languages. So instead of getting weighed down by heaps of foreign language manuals, you can put them to one side and just focus on the UK one, which is, I think, a good idea. And these, I think, are tools for getting the stereo out of the cage. Pretty sure that's what they're for, but we'll find out later. And a warranty card, and of course most people ignore these things because why do you need a warranty card? Your warranty is with the person who sold it to you, but I may go through the trouble, possibly. Right, to the unit itself. So I'd rather do this first, open here in the comfort of indoors rather than in the lack of space of a car. Okay, I will leave that on for the time being. So this is the cage. So I'll replace the Sony cage that's in there at the moment with this one. And then, now this has got these push-in clips. I'm going to have to look at that, because on mine it's held in with a set of bolts. So we'll have to investigate how these things tie up. Some more sort of loose wires. So one's for reverse. This would be connected up as you connect up your reversing camera. So I'm going to have a reversing camera hopefully in about a week, which will connect to the video in socket somewhere. Rear camera, there we are. And so of course the car itself needs to know when you're in reverse. So a cable will have to come from the reversing lights to this, and also a cable from the rear view camera itself to that socket. That's video out, I won't be using that. Parking switch. Right, so that's what connects to, yes, there we go, I was correct. That connects to there. So this has to connect to the handbrake switch. That should be easy enough, I hope. Fuse there. That socket is where that one goes in. So obviously wire all this up first. Right, what other sockets do we have? So we've got these high-level phono sockets for connecting to amplifiers. I'm not going to be using that. There is an amplified bass unit in the car, but that picks up from this speaker level. There's AV in. Not sure what I would connect to AV in. Microphone socket, so that's going to be the microphone that's so thoughtfully supplied. What do we have here? This is good. Very often you get a USB socket on the front, but really that's not that practical. You need a USB socket somewhere else. So there we go. That's the USB socket, and I will certainly be installing that. See, this is made by TDK. TDK, the great name in tape cassettes, if you remember. Remote in. Well, unfortunately, I've got nothing to plug into that yet, but hopefully I will at some point. Dolby, made under license. Of course, it's not talking about Dolby as in Dolby B noise reduction, which is what the old car stereo has. No, this is for the surround sound type things, I suspect. Okay, we're ready to install that in the car as soon as, one, I've taken out the old one, and two, I've prepared the sockets for this. So next, sometime in the next week, I will install this stereo system in the car and release a video on that. In the meantime, do please remember to look at the previous video, if you haven't seen it already, of the existing stereo system in that car, which includes mini disc autochanger, which is a wonderful old thing. In the meantime, do remember to like, share, and especially subscribe, and I'll do a lot more content on audio and video technology. Bye for now.